G'day everyone, welcome to a new financial year. It's the 2027 financial year. Hard to believe 27 years ago, GST was starting, Sydney Olympic Games. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? So, the best thing about a new financial year is, obviously we've completed 2026. It's been great catching up with everyone, getting tax planning strategies in place, getting all that put away. Now we can really focus on the future. It's like a line in the sand and you start thinking about the year ahead and, the opportunities that bring with it. So we've sort of switched now from tax planning to a lot of business planning now, along with, putting in place, going through the future prosperity report with clients, just updating details just to make sure that we're on track to achieve what we're aiming to achieve. I guess in the news, what's really, still fairly prominent is the CGT reform and the changes to the taxing of trusts. So, one amendment that was made before everything got passed through the government, through the parliament, was around the $2 million turnover for the small business concessions, increasing it to $10 million. The headline sounded really good, but I guess once the detail was released, it showed that it didn't really apply across the board with the small business concessions. It was still an improvement, and as I've said a number of times, my concern leading up to the federal budget was that they're possibly going to remove some of these concessions. So the fact that the concessions got expanded, even though it's not to the extent that most initially thought, it's still a step in the right direction. However, in terms of how it will get utilised by small business, farming businesses and family businesses will help, but it's fairly limited. But one thing that's not getting reported is, and we do talk about this a lot, is the concessions that are currently available. There are some fantastic concessions that haven't been talked about in relation to CGT rollover. So if you are legitimately looking to restructure your own business, your own operations, particularly for a genuine restructure, whether that's for succession or those types of purposes, there are concessions right now where you can do that where your turnover is $10 million or below. So it's slightly confusing because we've got two $10 million turnover limits now, one relating to the small business concessions and one relating to the small business rollover relief. So there are still a lot of opportunity out there to get your structure in place. Now, my biggest concern, and even reading today, I think it was linked back to the New South Wales Labor Party. They were making commentary around that the federal government didn't go hard enough with the CGT reform. They shouldn't have allowed grandfathering of the CGT, the CGT and negative gearing. They shouldn't have allowed grandfathering in that, and they should have actually started to wind back some of these CGT small business concessions. So I think that's pretty clear that, potentially that's where it's all heading. And as we've been saying for some time, we should be using these concessions whilst they're there. Don't sit back and just assume that they're going to be there when you need them. I think the time is right for all family businesses to actually make sure you're looking at your structures, make sure you're looking at how some of these concessions and exemptions can apply now. So I think that's really important. There's 3 really good articles there to have a look at. Make sure you have a read of those. Same day super, that's going to be important. Obviously, that kicks in with the first pay in July. So make sure we've got the link to the article there as well. We've also been sending out information regularly. If you've got any concerns around that, probably the biggest concern is cash flow. So finalising the end of June, superannuation requirements, plus then automatically then from a cash flow perspective being required to pay as the employee pays commence in July. So yell out if you've got any concerns. We're here to help, and we'll catch up soon.